He found out after watching the Shield Hero anime. He tells him to buy up weak leveled servants and then make them fight on his behalf to gain experience for leveling up. This pyramid scheme of a leveling idea resonated with him and his desire to have a harem of his own, and it led to this situation. After hearing him out, Tomo rejects him and says that she would stay with Yogiri, and they both walk away. Meanwhile, we see the vampire sage Liang engage in a battle with the aggressor called the Darkness. Yuri decides to get some rest and ends up sleeping and for 3 days straight, while Tomasha waits for him in her room. For all this time while doing that, Makoko tells her about someone keeping an eye over her with hostile intent, and she decides to wake Yagiri up and tells him to come to her room. Yuri walks out and uses his hostility detection haki and then no-shots Yuki's weakest bodyguard Erika with his instant death ability. After that, he walks into Tomi's room and tells the hotel's reception that a woman collapsed in the hallway on his floor. At the same time, we also see Lion's immortal core rampaging across the city's street, riding over civilians and turning them into zombies, making them part of her army. Meanwhile, Yuki notices that Erika's signal has vanished and he wonders what happened to her and sends 2 of his bodyguards to secure Tomasha while clearing a 150 floors deep dungeon by turning defeated monsters into his servants. On the other hand, Yogiri and Tomasha decide to get out of the hotel to avoid any fighting with Yuki, but they get ambushed by the captain of his bodyguard, Reza the Ice Mage. She says that she is there to get Tomasha and freezes them both in rock-solid ice, but Yagiri kills the ice with his ability and makes it pathetically easy to shatter. This makes Reza shocked and she tries to cast another spell, but Yogiri kills the spell and then kills her staff as well, making her fall on her knees. After defeating her, Yogiri asks her if she can use magic without her wand and if there are any other wands that she is carrying on her. She says that she is a wand master and can only use magic through wands, and that she is only carrying a small spare one in her treasure chest. She also tells them about Yuki's orders to capture Tomasha, and just then they get attacked by a doll that's crawling on the wall, but Tomasha puts it down using her martial arts skills manifesting due to Makamoko's influence. It turns out they are Yuki's other bodyguard, Chelsea's puppets, and Yogiri takes most of them down with his ability as well. Just then Riza tries to get them by surprise using a small one disguised as a hairpin, but Yogiri puts her down with his ability as well. After that, they walk out to make Chelsea stop fighting as well, and she gives up all the information she has about Yuki and his plan. Seeing Riza and Chelsea getting defeated, Yuki decides to lure them out using a fleet of cockroaches that he controls using his Dominator class ability and makes them attack the couple, but Yagiri uses his Wi-Fi observation haki to locate him and puts him down in the dungeon. On the other hand, we see Yuki's remaining bodyguards Euphemia and Stephanie wondering what they should do as they are now free from his contract. Stephanie decides to stay by his side and cry for a while Euphemia makes her way out of the dungeon and wonders why the entrance has so much light coming in. After walking out, she finds herself in a desert and then turns around to see the darkness engulfing the city and leaving only sand in its trail. She also finds Lion flying in the sky as she says that her attacks don't work on the formless darkness and that there is nothing that she can do now to stop it. She flies down and casts a charm spell on her and turns her into her servant and makes her tell her everything she knows. Meanwhile, Yuri and Tomasha make their way out of the hotel and wonder what was happening outside as everyone around them has turned into a zombie and someone is shouting on the speaker that the zombie party is about to begin. They both decide to escape the city while Lion tells Euphemia that she wants to know if Yuri can kill her with his ability or not. At the same time, we see the captain of the Immortal Corp talking to the mayor of the city named Ryuta, who turns out to be Lion's servant as well. Masayuki asks Ryuta to hand over the city's Kaz. It is an order from the sage Lion, and then uses the public speakers to tell the living people of the city that he is looking for these 2 people, showing Yogiri and Tom's pictures on all the screens in the city. He tells them that if they want to live and not turn into zombies, then they should get their ass moving, as he has also sealed the town with the barrier using the key. This makes Ryer really mad as he has worked his butt off to make this city prosper, but he can't do anything against Lion's orders. Now, with everyone coming after Tacha's bat on Keaton's, Yogiri decides to head to the city square to make a deal with Masayuki himself. Once there, he tells him to lower the barrier as they want to board a train and go to the royal capital, but Masuki asks them if they even know what kind of a situation they are in. While raising his army of undead soldiers, he says that those who are already dead cannot be killed, but Yogiri simply wills them to death as well using his Opus ability. This makes Masayuki really shocked and he asks how that's possible, and Yogiri explains in the most gigachad way that he is the one who decides if something is dead or not. Hearing this, Masayuki becomes enraged and he says that there is no way such a ridiculous ability exists in this world as he begins to transform into his vampire werewolf mode, but Yagiri simply puts him down in between his monologue transformation, saying that he doesn't Need to wait for the cringest loser in the anime to finish his lousy transformations, after that he turns to